Hi, my name is Philip Cooper, and I created Hypnoseed as a tool as much for me as for you. We all carry patterns that no longer support us, and that's just being human. Many of these patterns were created for a reason: to protect us, to help us cope, to help us feel safe when perhaps we didn't have the understanding, the support, the tools we needed. So this is not about blaming yourself. It's about gently being aware of the beliefs, emotional habits and inner dialogue that's shaping our lives, and asking, are these patterns still supporting me? Because awareness alone is rarely enough. Real change usually needs structure, repetition, compassion, and conscious participation. Many of us spend years carrying anxiety, self-doubt, and behaviors that no longer serve us, waiting for something that feels aligned, simple, grounded, effective. Hypnoseed was created to become that system, a practical process for working with your mind through structured self-hypnosis, repeated self-suggestion, and intentional daily practice. Through tools like tune-in, trigger mindfulness, and personalized audio scripts, Hypnoseed helps you better understand your tendencies, interrupt anxious loops, and begin reinforcing calmer, more supportive patterns over time. Just a few moments throughout the day can begin reshaping your inner dialogue. Your personalized scripts arrive back to your mobile at times you choose, helping transform repetition into conscious change. And sometimes, when we come into contact with something deeper than ourselves, a special moment, something beyond the constant mental chatter and daily grind, we remember that we are not our thoughts. And in that understanding, unsupportive beliefs and emotional patterns, they lose their grip on us as we give them less and less power and influence over us. Hypnoseed also offers reflective tools and practices designed to help you understand yourself more deeply, to recognize your tendencies, to understand your reactions, to discover more supportive suggestions, and intentionally feed them back into your mind with awareness and repetition, gradually turning the unfamiliar into familiar. Over time, calm becomes more familiar, clarity more familiar, confidence more familiar. And in a world increasingly filled with distraction, noise, and artificial guidance, there comes a point where real change asks something deeper from us. Not just more information, but honest self-awareness. Because real change asks for your participation, not passive consumption. It asks you to consciously be involved in the process of reshaping how you think, respond, and relate to yourself. Whether experienced as a daily practice or through the 16-day Hypnoseed process, meaningful shifts can happen surprisingly quickly. When we carry a burden, we eventually reach a point where we need to consciously face ourselves and decide how we wish to move forward. Realize, process, transcend. That is the dynamic behind the Hypnoseed system. The goal is not to become somebody else. It is to stop being unconsciously controlled by outdated beliefs internal narratives and emotional habits that no longer reflect who you are. Because underneath the anxiety, the overthinking, the coping mechanisms and the self-sabotage, the real you may already be enough. And often the moment we finally decide to make change, it happens far more easily than the years spent hesitating beforehand. If you've arrived here now, perhaps part of you is already ready. You can begin for free. Explore your oracle readings, create your first Hypnoseed script, discover an out of balance meridian and explore pathways towards greater balance and vitality. Perhaps the greatest responsibility we have is not to remain unconsciously trapped in the patterns we inherited, but to become aware, to heal, to evolve consciously. Because when one person genuinely changes, something quietly changes for the people around them too. And often it begins with a simple decision to finally say yes to yourself. These are tools and ways of understanding yourself that many of us were just simply never taught. No pressure, no commitment, just an opportunity to begin. Hypnoseed, an operating system for the mind.